Good morning, my beautiful crime family. And it is, well, a beautiful morning somewhere, just not quite here, as it's still pretty cold in where I'm at. Cold and out in the woods. The way I like it, actually. The cold I can do without. I don't mind the snow. I don't mind the snow at all. The cold is a little much at my age. Anyway, I have something to show you and to tell you about a little bit. Uh, and I've named this Trauma in Moscow. And I ran across this morning, and I know I had to jump and get this on there because it's important. This is done by a gentleman from Moscow, raised in Moscow. And he's got a few things to say about Moscow. Yeah. He talks about his trauma in his childhood and stuff. And this is kind of a personal video. And, I had a problem even running this, but I know it's important, and I just can't tell you about it. I mean, now you need to see him speak it in his own words and tell in his own words. But it is a kind of a family video. And it was just put out here a few days ago. And one of the comments on it was, oh no, wait until the true crime idiots get a hold of it or something like that. Well, here I am. Didn't take long. So I'm a little leery of putting it out there. But I think it's important because it talks about his trauma that town caused him. But at the same time, though, I want you to not just, look at that part of it. What I want you to see is that there's normal people there. There's normal people there too. And I think, the town gets demonized a lot, which with some people it should, yes. But let's remember, it's a small town, and it's affected this town terribly. And I'm sure they're really sick of us. And I guess I can't really blame them. But we just want to know at the same time. We want to know what happened. And, if they didn't put the gag order on, this would have went so much smoother. But they're trying to hide things. They're trying to hide things about what Moscow kind of is in a way, And how can you do that? How can that? And there's another man's life on the line too, and we need to know that he's really guilty, because there is many characters that play here, many. I got my ideas on who did things, and it sure the hell ain't Brian. And I've looked at this thing and looked at this thing, and I've even gone in going, okay, I need to find him guilty. And I can't do it. I cannot do it. And I don't know how any jury will be able to do it. Not with what they're showing. And I don't think they have a whole lot more. Not the way they are acting. It'd shock me if they did. Because of the way things are worded on the PCA and the PCA, just a lot of different things that just shows that they don't have. And what they do have is going to be so challenged in court that I don't see how they're going to use some of it without it blowing up in their face. So anyway, I want to show you this, but I want you to remember there is more normal people. Normal. It's morning, and I haven't slept yet. It is 6:09, and I'll probably plan this from an hour from now. This is not live. It's not live. The chat will be live. I doubt I'll be there. So hello to my beautiful crime family and my mods and everybody. Anyway, yeah, here it goes. And it's called Confronting Childhood Trauma in Moscow.
So this is Moscow. This is the town I grew up in. It's a small college town in northern Idaho, and I never thought I'd come back. I spent 12 years of my life in this town, in one very specific community, which consisted of the church that my family went to, the school most of us attended, and various other businesses. So even though the town had allegedly 20,000 people, my world was much smaller than that. It was so small, in fact, that I remember times that I would give friends a ride home from school, and before I got home, my mother knew who had been in my car, because someone had seen it and called her to tell her. The list of bad experiences I had in this place goes on and on. I'm not here to air out dirty laundry or to provide my take on whatever new controversy may swirl around this town and the people in it. Those have their time and place, and this is not it. However, it is because of these experiences that I have deep-rooted trauma. I was mistreated time and time again by people who were placed in authority over me. Teachers, coaches, pastors, etc. It led me to a point of never trusting any authority figure whatsoever, which, as you can imagine, has caused problems later in my life. It has also led to mental health issues with anxiety, even to the point of getting panic attacks when I hear certain church songs from my childhood. Since I left Moscow in 2010, I've connected all of my negative experiences and traumas with the town itself. I would hesitate to go back and visit because of the physical reactions my body would give when I thought of being around this place and many of those people, even to the point that if certain names or faces came across my social media feeds, it would send me into downward spirals of anxiety, panic attacks, and depression. I decided a year or two ago, while on a trip to Hawaii, that I would not allow any person or place to have that kind of power over me. But in order to do that, I needed to actually face what I'd been avoiding for so long. So I've come back here to do some healing. And I went back to those things and places that stirred up memories.
Maybe that UPS truck is for me.
Sure. I went on long drives through the back roads with my sister.
What you learn in June? What? What prince?
Princess.
Read that again.
Oh, Price.
I played basketball at the gym with my brother.
I know. You know it? You're already present.
I drove by the house that I grew up in.
This is such a trip. Just driving this road that I used to drive every day, at least once a day, sometimes more. crazy. It's not fully gravel anymore. Oh, now it's turned to gravel. It was gravel the entire time I was living here. That house did not used to be here. Kind of ruins the out in the middle of nowhere vibe. That's unfortunate. And it's so like vibrantly blue. Ugh. That one too. Oh, there's houses everywhere now. This place used to be empty. Wow. This is so weird. Okay, there's a driveway right next to my old drive. This is, I don't know. This did not used to be here. This whole field is gone now. There's nobody here. There's a fence and everything. Crazy, man. What is that? Is that a goat? What is that thing? Oh, they got lots of dogs. So many dogs. Well, this is the house that I used to live in. Honestly, it's kind of sad seeing it like that. Seeing all the houses built up around it. Like when I grew up, it felt like we were out in the middle of nowhere. Surrounded by farmers' fields, very few other houses around. And then a couple people built some stuff while we lived there, but then now it looks like there's just whole developments, whole neighborhoods going in around it. That's just, I don't know, leaves a sour taste in my mouth from what I remember. Oh well. It is what it is. It's what a lot is happening to a lot of this part of the country. It's just building more and more and more houses. So I'm not gonna get upset about it, but kind of taints memories of my childhood.
I spend a lot of time with family on this trip. 3 of my siblings live in Moscow currently, and I wanted to really focus on the time I spent with them and with their children, especially since it was Christmas time. I spent time with my sister's family in her little farmhouse on the hill overlooking the city. And I watched as my brother's kids helped their mom with preparations for Christmas.
That's dangerous. I would hold on to it.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, but it might knock the whole bowl off.
But I also spent plenty of time snuggling with the new kitten that they were trying to name and having indoor snowball fights.
Should we name him Buster Guy? Yes.
we spent Christmas morning opening gifts before going to my brother's in-laws for a feast. So much of this healing happens in situations off camera. Long conversations with people, siblings or old friends, that help me fully realize that what I experienced was valid, and they don't think of me any less for it. They're willing to have disagreements, but not let those affect the relationship, which is something that 10 years ago was not always the case. I had lunch with someone that I had known from my time here, and he encouraged me, as I'm on this healing journey, to find things to be thankful for. And as I thought about that, I realized that both in my time here, throughout my teenage years, and the past couple of weeks, there have been many good things that I had overlooked because of the negative things that I had experienced. One of the best things was the community here. While it had its flaws, it was something that I haven't seen anywhere since living here. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that my life in Albania can get very lonely. It's hard to fit in and make strong friendships. That's something that the people in Moscow do well, and I'm thankful to have experienced that once. Also, I'm thankful for the education I received there. While much of it does not apply to anything in my current life, I do have a well-rounded, diverse knowledge. And even though I was mistreated by teachers in that school time and time again, it shouldn't reflect negatively on what I did glean from my time there.
I've made the mistake over the last 13 years of associating my trauma with a particular place, because that's where I lived when the trauma happened. But it very likely has nothing to do with a particular place or with the people that live in this place. I can definitely tie it back to a few particular individuals and situations, but to write off an entire town and region because of that is immature and illogical. Wow. I've realized that not all of my experiences are indicative of the way everyone else experiences this place. Especially now, 13 years later, give or take.
This trip was good for me. It was exactly what I needed to be able to release myself from the hold that my childhood trauma had on me. And while this is just the first step in my healing journey, it was the hardest and the biggest one to take. Thanks for sticking with me. I'll be back soon.
Yeah, it's quite the video. I think one thing that we need to take from it, though, is like he said at the end, and but the town is kind of like what we thought. You know, sound like he didn't have too good of a, the teachers and stuff, and sometimes throughout the videos, I almost thought, was he trying to tell us something? But I think what his message is true. There's normal people there, and he found a lot of friendship there. And I'm happy that he went there and was able to feel better about situations in his life. I am going to apologize to Moscow for airing this to the crime community, because that's what I feel like I need to do. But I want them to know that I have a job that I have to do. And, but I'm not coming there. I'm not going there. I was there once. I went through the town one time back in 1990, June of 1990. June of 1990. So yeah, it's a sad video in a way, but in a way it's a video of hope, and hope for that town. It's gonna be 50 years or something crazy before that town recovers. Really. True. So anyway, I thought I would share that, what I found there. And, may God bless that town, and may they heal. And I know we were all against, and I still am against tearing that house down, but if that helps them heal a little bit, I hope it does. Yeah. So anyway, my beautiful crime family and my mods, I hope you have a very, very nice day today. And I hope if you're in a place like I'm in, keep warm. And until next time, rock and roll.
There's a lady who shines in the light. The glow of her eyes, my soul unites. The rain stops into the night. I walk in shadows of the moonlight. When the time is right and the stars shine bright, I'll kiss my lady through the night. Oh, my lady, do you hear all those whispers in your ear? I walk in shadows of the moonlight. Stars stuck in time. It always seems to seem alright. My thoughts inside, I miss it day and night. There's only one reason to stay up all night. Shadows of night. I'm slipping away, it's almost time. Take my hand, my lady, please don't cry. Hold me forever until I die. Don't be lonely, I'm by your side. I walk in the shadows